What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29. Wow, we're almost at episode 30. Time flies when you're having fun. Of Beyond the Finish Line, a running podcast that dives deep into the stories that transcend far beyond the distance. I'm your host, Joe Hardin. I'm a passionate trail runner myself. Whether you're an elite, back of the pack grinder, or somewhere in between, this is your space to learn, grow, and get inspired. Today we have Mary Pittman. Mary is the founder of Team Average Athlete, a brand that's rewriting the rule book on what it means to be an average athlete, and in doing it with a cool trucker hat and a healthy dose of humor and a community of everyday athletes such as myself along for the ride. Team Average Athlete to me is a lifestyle brand and movement, and honestly, a much needed reminder the athlete to take to the starting line. We all belong there, and that's kind of got me fired up about having Mary on the pod today. I can't wait to unpack some of this stuff. But real quick, before we bring Mary forward, I got to get a little housekeeping in the way. We got to keep the lights on, friends. If you could do us all a huge favor, like, subscribe, rate, review the podcast. You can even now comment on Spotify, which is really cool. I think it's neat to kind of keep this conversation going after the pod is over. That's been like a really, really, it's been a fun treat seeing like the conversations unfold even after the show is aired. So do us a favor, smash the subscribe button, share, 5-star review if you're so inclined, and yeah, that'd be such an honor for you guys to do that for us. So without further ado, let's bring Mary forward and let's talk about Team Average Athlete.
Hi.
Whew, that was a tongue twister of an intro. Well, hello, how's it going?
Loved it.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I found you guys. I saw like you introduced like Christy. So I've had Christy on, Christy D. I've been on Allie, and Allie's been on my show, and I saw where you guys do like those like athlete highlights, and then I realized, second of all, that you're like 30 minutes away. So I'm like, oh, this is so cool, and then you were kind enough to put my 8-hour event on your calendar, which got me really fired up. So I'm like, all right, I
Yeah,
have to get to know more about these people. And then I bought this. I had to rep the brand and buy this sweet shirt.
I love
Um,
it.
so yeah, so I'm really excited. A cool local brand. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, the indie
So I
community is
guess
great.
outside of yeah, I've been kind of like running trails alone for the past few years, but now I'm starting to kind of embrace more road running. And as I've been hosting a podcast, I've been making a lot more local friends. So I've been kind of dipping into the road running scene more, and finally kind of getting out of my comfort zone, like running an Indy more, and doing some like road runs with some of my road running friends. So it's been pretty cool getting to know more people, kind of as I come out of my shell a little bit in the running community locally, getting to know like all these fantastic people that are in the Indianapolis area. It's been a real joy being a part of it.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I'm
so,
kind
like
of
I do with all
newish to
my
indie
guests.
too. So to me, it's been a great way to meet
Oh,
people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and we'll have to get into that because you're indie by way of like a lot of places. Um, so yeah, yeah, I was like listening. I was re-listening to the episode you did with Allie, and I was just like, wow, you've been everywhere. Um, and we can dig into that too. But I was wanting to give you some time. You're a runner. I think you're a swimmer from what I've seen. You hike. You're like, you run this fantastic athlete, average athlete. So outside of all these things, if you could tell us.
Yeah. Well, one, thanks for having me. And if you hear
Yeah,
laughing
absolutely.
or screaming, my kid's going to bed right now, so you may hear we may have a visitor.
Oh,
But
that's fine.
maybe that's the best way to introduce myself. I'm a mom of two. So I've got a 3-year-old Nora and a 1-year-old Charlie. But yeah, I'm a New Jersey native. So I grew up in New Jersey, just a couple miles outside of Manhattan. So grew up on the East Coast. Went to school at Miami University in Ohio. So then went to the Midwest, and then had adventures in South America. Made my way to California, working primarily in public health. Um, but yeah, I just kind of been like on all of these different world adventures kind of early after school and things like that. But primarily, I kind of consider myself, if I had to like introduce myself, I'm a mom, I'm a runner, I'm a swimmer, just kind of like generalist in all areas. Like I just like adventures, whether it's skiing or hiking. I think I'm just kind of the person, if someone's like, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, I mean, I may not know how to do it, I might not do it well, but I'll join you. I'll join you. Sounds great. um, and so yeah, I moved from San Francisco. I lived there for about 7 years with my husband. Right at the end of 2019, which was kind of crazy timing.
Oh,
And we
wow.
moved from San Francisco here to Indianapolis. COVID hit. And so it's weird to think that we've been here for 5 years. And in those 5 years, we've had COVID. I've had two children, kind of restarted this brand, Average Athlete, and still feeling a little bit new to the Indy area through all these different life changes. But yeah, Average Athlete just started. Honestly, it was just kind of like a fun thing that I kept saying with friends while we were in San Francisco. We had some friends who worked for an athletic apparel company, and we would go skiing with them. And all the time they would tell us about like the pro athletes that they worked with. Um, and so we were at a bar one night, and I definitely had a drink or two too many after skiing. And I was just joking around. I was like, "You should sponsor me." And I just was honestly trying to get free things. But then it kind of sat, and I was like, we should sponsor Average Athletes. Like, a lot of us are doing some really cool things, and we're doing it while we have to usually work or parent or kind of throw all that life throws at us, even though I know a lot of elite athletes do that as well. But yeah, and then it just as a joke kind of made a hat for myself and my husband, and wore it around. And then people would ask like, "Hey, where can I buy that hat?" And I was like, "You want to buy this hat?" And they're like, "I'm an Average Athlete." And I was like, "All right." Like, it seems to be resonating with more people than just me. um, and then I became a parent, and I think it resonated even more. So athlete, and hopefully bringing this brand and story to many, and introducing a lot of other Average Athletes. So that's kind of a little bit about me, a little bit about Average Athlete, and
Yeah.
guess how I got here today.
So you're working for this nonprofit. How does that take you like all over the world? Because I've heard like San Francisco. Did you say South Africa? Like,
Yes.
kind of unpack that for me a little bit. Tell me about that. Like, that's so wild. Getting to travel all these cool places, and yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I guess been a bit of an untraditional route, and was not intended to be that way. But after college, my husband, he was a Chinese major, so he lived in China for a year after college. And I guess I always had the travel bug. Like, I applied to the Peace Corps, and I wanted to help people, and I also really wanted to travel the world and see. I didn't do the Peace Corps, but I did end up moving from after college to Santiago, Chile. And
Wow.
yeah, I just was teaching English there. My now husband Cody, he joined me at the time. He was like, "Well, I'm done China, and I don't have a job anywhere else, so let's do Chile." So my cousin lived there as well, so I was like, "Well, at least if I'm gonna go on a completely different country, it'd be nice to know someone there." So we have my cousin there to kind of keep an eye on me. But yeah, I lived there for a year and was teaching English and just trying to learn Spanish. Did a pretty okay job. I would say now it's not so great, having not used it in a while. But I'd say honestly, it was probably in Chile, which is where I like really started to kind of love running as a way to explore a city. Because I had no idea like you would take a metro and I'm like, have we gone 5 miles? Have we gone half a mile? Like, I don't know where I am. So I would just put my shoes on and like run up and down the metro and figure out where were, what's going on in the neighborhood. And so, yeah, that was kind of like my first broad adventure. And kind of my first way where I'm like, oh, running is a great and cheap way for me to explore where I am, and meet amazing new people. We actually met one of our closest friends when we were living there. His name's Nico Barraza. He's an ultra runner. I think he was a pro ultra runner when we met him, which is fun. And I remember we would go on runs, and they had this mountain in kind of the middle of the city, and we would go, and he'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go run to the top. We're like, yeah, we'll meet you up there. And like we would start walking. He'd run back down, yell at us to start running, and then we'd run back up. And yeah, he's still one of our closest friends. But it was just kind of like, all right, my first intro to abroad and to meeting new people through running, and it's been great. So Chile was our first stop. Then my husband worked for a company that was part of Startup Chile. It's like an incubator program based in Santiago, and they're like, hey, we're moving to California. And I think both of us were like, well, we don't have any other jobs, so let's go to California. Seems to be a common theme. We just kind of like are going for it.
I love that.
So yeah, we moved, we packed up the car. I flew home to New Jersey, packed up my car, drove to Indiana, where he was from, packed up his car, and then we both drove out to San Francisco. And we lived there for about 7 years. And it was while we were there, I got hooked up in a nonprofit and a couple public health organizations, and really worked to bring kind of like health informatics technology to very rural, remote places such as Uganda. And just I had the opportunity to do a little bit of traveling in Africa. And that is actually kind of when the average athlete thing started. I was living
Oh, really?
in a yeah. I had talked about it after that kind of ski trip with some of my coworkers. The organization was called WATSI, WATSI. Still awesome. And you can fund patients around the world, and every dollar goes to their healthcare. And so the engineers that work there, they actually were the first ones to get me the domain average athlete. And they were the ones who were like, you've got to do something with this. So on one of our trips to Uganda, we had these, we lived with nuns in a convent.
Oh, wow.
Really badass women. They ran, yeah, they they were the nurses, they were the operators. They just kind of like were in charge of everything. But a lot of them weren't in great health, a lot of diabetes, and they didn't exercise or anything. And I usually would either walk or run or do something to the health clinic and back every day. So we started workout programs with there. So they were my first like average
that is so
athlete
cool.
team. It was me and yeah, me and like 6 of the nuns in Uganda. Every day at 4:00, we would do a little workout on the patio. And I wasn't sure if they were doing it just to like be nice to me, but every day. And if I didn't show up, they would come find me. And I was like, all right. So it was kind of cool to see that they were into it. And they were like, we're average athletes. I was like, you guys
Heck
are.
yeah.
Like, we all are. So it was really fun.
That is so cool.
They're the true originals.
So
Yeah.
the OG team average athlete was 9 nuns. That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So really random question.
In Rabale,
Like,
Uganda.
did they wear like their traditional I can't remember what like their uniform's called. Oh, never mind. But did they wear like their tradition?
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah. Is it called a hobbit or never mind? I know it's called something really weird. It'll come to me at like 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
But did they wear like their traditional like uniform while they were okay? Wow. Okay. Cool. That's amazing.
Yes. I have a video of us working out. I'm gonna have to find it and post it. But I never saw them wear anything else. They wore that, and whether we walked, so a big part of my time there was we enrolled patients in like a community health insurance program. So we would be walking around, and it was very like there were no cars, and so you were kind of walking through the jungle a little bit and come up on these houses that were primarily made of like mud and sticks. And I've got just like all the tech gear trying to stay warm and or cool. And my electrolytes and whatever I could carry. And the nuns, they had the same thing that they wear all the time. I don't think they had sneakers, and they were just like pounding those miles every day. So yeah, they were the OG badass
That is
original
so cool.
average athletes.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Fun crew.
that's so cool. So you go from there to San Francisco. You said so I haven't been in a long time, but San Francisco is such a beautiful city. I've been there 3 times now, and I still have yet to see Alcatraz. Every time I've been there, it's been closed, and it's been too foggy to see it through. What's that Golden Gate Park where you can like look through the viewfinder? I wasn't able to see Alcatraz. I don't know why. Why I want to see this like old building so bad, but so maybe next time I go out there, I'll get to see Alcatraz finally. But so that's cool. So out of all these like
It is
places,
cool. I've
yeah.
done the tour a couple of times, and it's so cool. Yeah.
So have you get to like run across the Golden Gate Bridge or anything like that? Like that's on my list if I get to go back. So
Yeah, San Francisco was the best. It was I think we knew we weren't going to be there forever, so, I had a bucket list of all the things that, like, I wanted to do, and my husband, you know, he had one as well, and he grew up in Indiana, so really didn't learn to surf, so there he was like, "I wanna surf as much as I can." So we would surf, we would ski, runs were just uh like did the bridge a couple times. Actually didn't really like running over the bridge. It's long and kind of scary. It's kind of
yeah,
scary. You're really high up there, and it's crowded. So I was able to do the marathon and the half marathons while I was there, and it includes the Golden Gate Bridge as a route. So that was very iconic. But I mean, everywhere in the city and even outside of the city, I think I did my first trail run when we were living there, and that that was that's a cool community, and just
oh
like to
yeah,
be able to drive, whether you're in the city or outside, like in the Marin Headlands. It was just like beautiful views and epic, very hard, like never ending hills. But yeah, it was fun, and again, I think we knew we weren't going to be there forever, so we tried to check off as much as we can,
oh that's
and
so
that is
cool.
definitely where my yeah. Have you ever done the double dipsy before, or the dipsy run?
No, no, tell me about this.
It's so I think it's one of the oldest runs in the United States, definitely the oldest trail run. If I'm right, I might be wrong. But um, it's tough. So you're basically going up and over a mountain, and you can do the
Oh,
single dipsy, which is one weekend, or you can go up and over the mountain and then back. That's the double dipsy, and then they have an ultra, and that's a quad dipsy. Um, we've
the
never done the
quad
quad,
dipsy.
but yeah, and
I am
it's
intrigued.
like the trail's super steep. You've got like some places where you have to like they build ladders into it because it's so steep, so you got to climb up it. But there's a lottery for the single dipsy, and we were like, we're never gonna get the lottery. So we just were like, well, we can get into the double dipsy. I'm not sure we can run that far, but we can do it. So we put ourselves in for the double dipsy. Wore average athlete shirts, and we just kind of muscled our way through that one. I don't know what my time is. That's a pretty common theme amongst myself. People
yeah,
ask what's my
yeah.
time. I don't know what my marathon. I don't know what my marathon time was. I don't know what my half marathon. I don't know what any of my times are. I just know I finished the races,
Yeah,
and
I
that
don't think I can
probably won't be
remember
my
any of my
favorite.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah, same. I don't think I
I
remember a
run with
single
a
one of my
watch, and it's
finish
truly just
times.
so I know when I have to be home. Yeah. But the double
Oh,
dipsy is my favorite. So if anyone is looking for one, that is a highlight.
I like the I like first of all, I just like the name of it. It sounds really like the name is fun. So I bet the I bet the run is really, really fun.
Yeah.
What distance is the double dipsy? Well, you said quad dipsy is a ultra?
Yeah. So I think the singles about 7, I something like that.
Oh, cool.
It's the elevation change that makes it tricky. So yeah, I think the double was about a half,
Oh, wow.
of around that
Up just up a
source.
mountain,
Yeah,
like
I know.
sounds pretty fun and difficult.
It was. I And some of them, they have their, like, names on parts of the trail, so there's, like, cardiac or kind of like in Boston, I guess, I'm blanking right now on some, but, you would say, like, "Whereabouts are you?" And they're like, "On, like, the death climb or something." I was like, "Oh, okay, great, great, that sounds like a good spot to be in." Um, but yeah, it was the first time where I understood, like, I would go to the aid stations, there would be, like, chips and pretzels and Coke, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then on my way back, I was like, "I totally get it, why I'm craving all of these
Oh,
things
yeah.
right now." And yeah, there were a couple people I was, like, stopping to rest and stretch, and they were like, "Don't, just keep going." So yeah, it was wild. We were probably way underprepared to be doing such a thing, but it's the race where if people ask if I could go do it again, like, I would love to go back and, like, try it again. That would be so fun.
Yeah, that sounds super rad. Oh, so we've got a shout
Yeah.
out from Chrissy D. Chrissy says Mary is the best on IG. Cool. Thanks,
You're
Christy.
the best, Christy.
Christy's amazing.
She
So
is.
you said that
I
was
think
it
that's
that was like
been
your first trail run? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mary.
Yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, if I interrupt you, I think I either one of us has a little bit of a lag. It's maybe me, so
Okay.
apologies on that one. Um, but yeah, I think it was my first trail run. Um, and it was nice. We had some friends that we ran it with. Um, and so it's just always nice to have like familiar faces. But there's something about that trail community that, like, even if you don't know anyone, um, I was talking to someone about this, but run groups and runs can be really just like terrifying to go to, even if it's, advertised as like open to anyone. You're like, yeah, but like it's gonna be weird if I don't know anyone, or am I gonna be able to keep up type of thing. But the trail group, and whether you're, on your by yourself for a little bit on the trail, there's just something about that community that is really special that I I don't know what it is. I don't know if I could put it into words, but, they're great, and I always have a lot of fun with them.
I could talk about how much I agree with that all day long because it's like, I ran road for a while and I ran with a few road run clubs, which there are amazing road run clubs, but I linked up with a Tuesday night group, the Indiana Trail Runners Association. It was like the first time I'm there, like, hey, come on, like, and they just like I remember I think they had like a snow cone machine at like one of their vehicles, like the most random thing I've ever seen at a run club. And I was just like, I've obviously like found my people, like snow cones and like quesadillas. Like
Yes.
this is what I want. This is what here for.
Yeah.
So
Yep. No. I actually I keep seeing the trail run, association on Instagram, and I'm like, I really wanna go to some of those events. Um the hardest part with the trail is, like, I can't really push a stroller on it right now, so I was like, I gotta do a little
oh
bit
yeah.
more childcare coordination, but, I do wanna make it out to some of those. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, there's some really, really cool groups, like such great people too. But yeah, I know some of the single tracks that we have might be a little bit difficult for pushing a stroller, but maybe you could get like a four-wheel drive stroller or something. I don't
Yes,
know how that works, but it'd be kind of cool, right?
that'd be pretty epic, yeah, I think the kids would
uh,
love it. It'd be fun.
so was running like was running like always a part of your life? Like or is this something that you found like just like during your travels for work, you just realized like that's kind of how you wanted to experience new places, or like maybe run me through like your running journey, like
Yeah.
getting to here, I guess.
Yeah. It's a good question. I'd I'd say it's always been a little bit a part of my life. Like I grew up and did all the like the kids sports, soccer and swim team, summer swim team and things like that. But I remember in high school I was on the soccer team, but there I think there came a point where like junior year where you can either like go JV or varsity, and all your friends are going varsity. And I think one of the coaches was like, you're really good at running. And I was like, I'm like, I think that's my cue of like, I'm not really good at soccer. I'm not going to make varsity. um, and so I joined the cross country team, and I wasn't like a star at all, but I was definitely more suited for the cross country team, where I didn't have to like have any ball coordination skills, which I clearly wasn't a master at. So yeah, I did cross country in high school. In college, it was just kind of like the easy, uh, probably like just how easy and inexpensive it is. Like it's just such a low barrier to entry thing. Like if it's like, oh, I got to go do something, I don't have to have a gym membership. I don't have to have a buy. I don't have equipment. I can just go. And so I think that's always been the thing that I've turned to, out of convenience um, and just like what it gives me the ability to do. But I think now, since becoming a mom, it's also that convenience is really nice as well, where I can be like, all right, I've got like, I don't know, 10, 30, whatever, however much time, just put the kids and go. And I don't have to worry about, again, just equipment and things. It's just great at any budget, any kind of phase of life. And now I like love it. Even to like either whether I have my kids or if I like just need time away from my kids.
Yeah.
I've kind of joked around with my husband now, or sometimes he'll go off golfing and it takes the whole day. And I was like, I'm going to sign up for a marathon so that I can get the whole day of going to run. If you get like 5 hours of golf, I'm getting like 5 hours of running. Going to be my motivator for my marathon training.
That would be
But
the
no,
best
now it almost
marathon
feels
story.
like, right? I was like,
That'd
I
be
just need to
amazing.
get
Yeah.
away for a little bit. I'm going to sign up for a marathon. Which after I did the San Francisco Marathon, I had a friend and she was like, you're either going to sign up, like after when you cross that finish line, you're either going to like sign up and do another one, or you're going to be like, I am done. And then after the San Francisco one, which I think I was, again, wildly unprepared for, but I was like, yeah, I could do that. Like run a marathon. After I crossed the finish line, I was like, I'm never doing another one again. But now I'm like, that sounds pretty nice. Like I could get away for a few hours and great. But it is like easy. But if I ever just kind of like feel like I'm feeling overwhelmed or overstimulated or whatever, it's just like I gotta go. Like I'm gonna go for a run, and that's kind of my default now. So yeah, it's been. It's weird because forever, like I don't think I really thought of it as like part of my identity or me. But I think now, like how it's given me such a community, a way to meet people, and just like ease to kind of get out there and do stuff easily. I'm like, man, like yeah, running is great. um, however you do
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I think it's changed throughout like how I've changed in life. But it's always been there in some way, shape, or form. I should probably thank that soccer coach for pushing me out of soccer and into cross country. Whoever that person was, I don't remember.
That's amazing. Thank you,
Yeah.
soccer coach, for. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I
But a
love
lot of
that, and
swim or a lot
obviously.
of running.
Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, I just
I was gonna
I
say
just
just a lot of
fully resonate with what you just said.
I feel like yeah, the running community is special. And I think a lot of people again, it's sometimes it's hard to put into words, but it's like you get it. Like and sometimes I feel that way with the average athlete community because some people will read my shirts or my hat and they're like, average athlete? Like you're not average or things like that. And sometimes I'm like, people look at it and like either it's like you get it or not or not. Sometimes I'm like, I think the running community just gets it as well. So it's always really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So running and then I'd say swimming is my second like love as well. Trying to do a lot of swimming. Not always able to do it as easily, but it's something that I kind of did in high school, and it's also just been a great way to explore different places.
That that's something I've been really wanting to add to, like, I'm really into running, obviously, and I've been getting really deeper, like a lot deeper into cycling. So I'm like, all I really need is, yeah. Christy says we need to get another marathon on your calendar. So there it is from Christy. So I
I
think you have to do it now.
I will need a coach
You
before
need,
I do another marathon because
there you
I was
go.
hysterically crying at mile 20, so I would like to not cry again.
I think Christy's got you covered. So, um,
Yeah.
but I've been trying to add swimming to, like, I need to get over my fear of water because I'm just like awful. But maybe that's a sign that I need to try. So,
Have you
and then I
always
guess
had
maybe I
is
could.
it all water?
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it
know
like
why. I've just always been kind of like,
is it like pool, open water?
I definitely like the idea of open water, like really scares me. But so maybe like I could just start like kind of in the pool and then go from there. But because I'd like to think that maybe one day I'll do a triathlon, maybe. But yeah, Christy knows of a marathon.
I would love to do one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been kind of like something I've been thinking
I,
about too, is doing, getting into swimming. So I think that's kind of cool.
yeah, I just actually just did a swim this Saturday with my husband because his family has a house on a lake, and ever since I've known that been to that lake, I'm like, I bet we could swim across that lake. So this summer I'm like, we're gonna try and swim across the lake. But it was interesting because he's been joining me for some of these like trainings and he was asking like he's like, "Can you give me like some swimming tips?" I was like, "I am the worst swimming coach. Like I don't have I was like, I don't even know like I don't have any tips." So I was like, "You just kind of like go and breathe." And I think whoever taught me when I was really little but it's been cool to like see him doing it and it's been another fun activity to do together. A little bit harder. You can't like talk very much. But yeah, open water, I also still get very afraid of it. I did my first open water swim from Alcatraz to the beach of San Francisco.
Whoa.
Um, and yeah, so they take you out like on a boat because you can't actually step on the rock on Alcatraz. I think it's protected. Um, so you jump off of a boat into the bay and you swim. It's like a little over 2 miles. But I remember thinking like the whole time just like how terrifying being in that water is. And I remember the the guy who was prepping us to go. There were a lot of people who weren't from the area, and I think there was a teenager who was swimming. So his mom was like, "Should any of us be concerned that there are sharks in this water?"
Yeah.
Um, and the guy leading it was like, "Oh no, it's too warm at the top. Like there's not enough air for them." And I'm looking at him and I was like, "He just made that up. Like
Yeah.
that is not true." And he's like, "We just don't want to scare people before they go in." I was like, "Oh my god."
It sounds very made up.
So yeah, and the whole time I kept thinking, I was like, well, if I just keep going swimming and going faster, I will be not afraid to be in this water anymore. I'll be on land sooner. So that was one of my bucket list items. We're halfway through. I'm like, why am I doing this? But it was really cool to do. But I think I was scared the entire
Oh
swim.
my goodness.
And even now when I'm in the lake, I know there are no sharks, but it still is in my head. And there's something about murky water where I'm like, I don't know what's down there. It scares me. So I feel like I always swim a lot faster in open water because I have a little bit of a what is down there gonna get me. But there's also just like this epic feeling of like we're in the middle of the ocean or the lake, and it's just like beautiful and it's cool. So yeah, I'm trying to get some average athlete swim caps for our swim.
Oh
But it's a cool thing. Yeah. If you ever want to swim together, let me know. I will join you.
yeah,
I will
absolutely.
have
It's
no
been
tips for you, but I will join you and encourage you.
well, your tip is just send it, so I'm gonna go with that, right?
Pretty much.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just maybe what I'll do is like the carrot will be dangling will be I'll buy the swim cap, then I'll like have to go swimming. Maybe that's what I'll do. So that's what I'll yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
I've been like kind of like passively shot like looking around for pools. Like eventually I'm just gonna take the leap and go for it. But I'll start in very clear water is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. I'll never I'll never promise that I'll open water swim in a lake anywhere, but maybe one day I'll get I never thought I'd run trails either, so who knows where that could take me, but
Yeah.
so,
I like it. Just send it. I just
just send
I
it.
I remember yeah. Our actually it reminds me, our friend Nico, the one who we met in Chile. Um, when I was training for the double dipsy, I met one of his friends who was an ultra runner, and they were at they were doing some race in California, and we were just watching his dog during the race. And so I was asking his friend, I'm like, I'm pretty nervous. Like all the uphill doesn't scare me, but like downhill, I'm always rolling. Like I'm just not good at it. I was like, what? Like you are the like one of the best in the world. Like, what is your advice? And he just said, just point your feet down and send it. And I was like, all right, I guess that's what I'll do. I was like not very like tactical. I was hoping for like bend your knees or something. His advice was just send it. And I said,
Oh,
okay,
that's awesome.
there we
That
go.
secret of the pros, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I guess I'll stop overthinking it and just go. Yeah. It was fun.
Well, we need to talk team average athlete because I'm really stoked on this. It's got me fired up. You guys are local, so I'm really excited that I found you guys. Well, so earlier you did run us through like the formation of team average athlete,
Yeah.
and kind of like how the idea came up. You said I think I heard you say you were hiking with some friends, and you're like, hey, I'm an average athlete. So going from that to like, so what was the moment that you realized this isn't just like an idea, like this is something I'm gonna actually like go for, like I'm gonna send it, like we said. When did that come to you?
Oh man. That's a good question because for a while, it was uh, uh, it was just something fun for me and my friends. And to be honest, like I never made those hats thinking like this is gonna be a big thing, or I don't know. It just kind of like wasn't on my mind really when I made it. And so I say it started in like 2018. So I went to Uganda in 2018, and that's when like kind of all the ideas happened, and things like just kind of was having fun with it. Um, and so I'd say from like 2018 till like probably 2020, it just kind of was like this thing that I said. And I think we just made like Instagrams and stuff, and anyone who I bought like 20 hats, and I was like, oh, if any friends or family want to buy it, that would be awesome. And didn't take it seriously. Um, and to be really honest, I had a hard time wearing it. I wrote a blog post about this, and it took me a long time to write the blog post, but every time, so I wore this my average athlete stuff, and just like your shirt, it's usually like big, bold. Like we made the logo. My husband made the logo one night. I was like, I need a logo, and he's like, let's just make it big and bold, so it's very clear. Um, and loved it. Very simple. But when I would wear average athlete next to him, it was like a very clear difference where he would wear it and just kind of get like literally smiled, like someone would point at him from across the gym or something and be like, dude, that is awesome. And I would wear it, and I literally had people, I had one woman in San Francisco come up to me, and she started yelling at me, being like, how could you talk about yourself like that? I had another guy in like Tahoe. I was wearing my hat, and he was like, you're bringing yourself down. So I'd say from, I think that was like 2019. I was like, I don't want to wear I don't want to wear this. Like I'm getting like and I'm very much an introvert. And so I'm like, I'm just getting all this weird attention. I was like, it's just supposed to be like for me and fun, and like it makes me smile, but like it's making a lot of other people not smile. And so for a while, it was just really interesting to see the difference of like a male and female wearing it and the difference. And I'd say honestly, it probably wasn't until I became a mom in my daughter was born in 2021, and I just started to feel like the pressures of like motherhood, and I would feel the like correlation. I'm like, man, why is it okay for like my husband to call himself average and everyone's like, that's funny and hilarious, but if I do that as a mom or as an athlete or however I am, it's not okay. And
Yeah.
so I'd say it took me like a while to like digest that and feel really confident wearing average athlete, and I think even like understand what what I felt this message was and this brand was, because again, for a while it was like it was just fun and funny. And I think as I've gotten a little bit older and more experienced and just like thought about this brand a little bit more, I'm like, no, there's like this, to me this means a little bit more now. Of like I can call myself average, and like that's not bad. Like it's it doesn't mean I'm a bad athlete. It doesn't mean I'm bad at anything. Like I'm not the best. And we've even had pro athletes who are like, I freaking love average athlete. Like I'm just a regular person. I'm a regular person, and I also have to go to work and train hard. So I think to me it means like we're all just, no matter what your level is, if you're the front of the pack, the mid of the pack, back of the pack, like you are your own average. We have good days, we have bad days. Just like we don't need to take it so seriously. So I'd say honestly, it's probably in the past like 6 to 8 months where I've kind of regrouped with average athlete, and I was like, I feel more confident with what this means to me. And it feels weird being like as the person who kind of like started it. Like I think other people kind of were more ahead of it than me of what it meant. So yeah, I'd say just this year it's like, no, let's like really get this message out there. Like I hope everyone feels confident being an athlete. And whether you're an average athlete or if you don't feel comfortable wearing that, that's totally cool too. But it's, to me it's just like a vibe, and like this is the year that I want to get those good vibes out, and I want to start, like that's why I love this podcast. It's like getting those everyday average athlete stories out, because like people need to be celebrated. And so I'm hoping that with the social media platform we can start celebrating these people and giving highlights of like damn, like you've done some incredible stuff, and like you've done that while, I don't know, overcoming all the big and little things in your life. So yeah, I'd say it's been around for a while, but I'd say it's just this year that I'm like, nope, let's
Yeah.
send it. Like this is the year. Um, so yeah, still figuring it all out,
Yeah, I love
really.
how you're like leaning into it because I think what you're like kind of what I'm drawing from like your mission statement is cool. Like I'm a back of the packer. I'm a mid pack on my best day. I'm a mid packer. I'm a back of the packer. And honestly, I mean, would I love to be a podium runner? I don't know. Maybe that'd be cool. But I have so much
Yeah,
damn fun being in the middle of the back of the packer because this is where I'm meeting all my friends. Like we're having like amazing conversations back there. Like it gets unhinged at the back of the pack. And I love like how you're like leaning into that and like celebrating every like that's the name of this podcast network, Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. So it aligns so well with what you're saying. Like I guess it's just like a tip of the hat to you. Like just keep it up because I think the vibes that you're putting out there are cool. And you're right. It's so cool to celebrate average people, average athletes. We're working 9 to 5s. We have kids, we have families, and we're just doing the sport purely because we love it. Like we're not making money from this. It's so
yeah,
um
yeah.
say you're hitting the nail on the head because it got my attention because like this is really there's a lot of voices celebrating the elites, and I really love this like kind of like this tidal wave of like celebrating the everyday people. It's like really got me excited. So I don't know what I was saying there other than just like
Yeah.
congrats because I think it's cool what you're putting out there. I'm really digging it.
Thank you. And you guys too. Like I feel like right now, as a I'm just kind of working on this on my own. I've got my 2 kids, and I'm like I want to like send more people to this podcast and be like, I don't have the bandwidth or ability right now to do a podcast, but like, Dan, these stories need to be told. So like you need to go to the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, and check it out. And I think yeah, with Average Athlete, one I've had a couple funny comments. It's almost like I don't ever want to bring the like elites or pro down. But like to me, it feels they feel like my rock stars. I'm like I you guys are awesome, and I know a lot of you also are working and doing 9 to 5s and parents and all that stuff. So I know some folks have said like, oh, like we're whether you're a lead or not. To me, I'm like, I just want us all to enjoy this process, and like you elites are like, damn, you are
Oh
my rock
yeah.
stars. Like I want to learn from you. I want to know everything. But I also want to know from the other like parents. I'm like, no, seriously, like how are you training? How are you doing all of these things? So I think there's something special in this everyday athlete community too that we can all
Yeah.
pick each other up and celebrate, but then like learn from each other. Because whether you're new to swimming or running or things like that, like um, yeah, it's hard to do a lot of the things, whether it's going to your first run or walk or whatever. But like hearing how others have done it, I think can be inspiring to others, even though I think us as everyday average athletes, we may not always feel inspiring, um, but really can be like, nope, how do you get 2 children to sit in a stroller and like do that? Like someone tell me the logistics of that. And a lot of average athletes can. Or how do you start swimming in a pool? Yeah, I just think there is a lot of potential for like a powerful community to help each other and just have fun. Just like we need to have more fun. So
Yeah.
that's my thought
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I first started running, I was like took it
Yeah.
way too seriously, and then I realized like how absurd is this thing that I love so much. It's just like putting on shoes and running is like seems like such a simple like premise, but it's like I love everything about it. So I've been like kind of learning to like not take it so seriously. That's been my like mission the last like year. Like don't take it so seriously. Like just have fun. Just get out there and enjoy the process. So yeah, absolutely. I guess I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Do you have the athlete bouquet, Allie's like no one cares sticker for your
I I
watch?
I
I need to
do.
get one of those. I love that
I
sticker
I
she
do have
has.
one of her towels, but I don't have the watch sticker yet. But
Yeah.
she was nice enough to send me like a tattoo for my last 100 miler, which was really cool. It kept me going.
Oh, nice.
I didn't. I ended up DNFing at like 45 miles, but that temporary tattoo lasted for the 45 and a half miles I was out there. So it was pretty cool to like look at that. But
Which race did you
Mohican
do?
100. It was
Oh,
brutal.
wow.
I did not respect that trail at all. I was just like, yeah, it's vertical. It's technical. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, this is a different world. So, yeah, it was a really tough trail, but
That's wild.
it was something.
Man. What's next for you?
I so me and a buddy tried to run across Rhode Island back in March, and we made it about 50 miles across Rhode Island. The weather was insane. Like we in March in Rhode Island, we didn't think that through. But our next thing is we're gonna maybe try and run across Indiana in August using like taking 3 or 4 days, but because I haven't signed up for anything officially. Yeah, I don't
What?
know if I should say that out loud, but that's kind of what our what our next thought process is. But we'll see how that
I love
we'll see
that.
how that goes. But yeah, it's a big lofty goal. But
That that needs to be that needs to be a race of some sorts because we have I met through the Holiday Park Trail Run a group that have you heard of RAGBRAI, the
yeah,
cycling? Oh
yeah.
yes, you have in Iowa. Um, yeah, I know we had messaged about that, but they so there's a group from here in Indiana, and they are or they're doing RAGBRAI. I think they've done it for a while, but their kind of bus and team this year is Team Average Athlete. So Team Average Athlete will be
Oh,
racing.
cool.
A group of Hoosiers are cruising all the way across the state of Iowa, and I was like, Indiana needs something like that. That would be really
They,
cool, whether it's running or
yeah.
cycling. That would be
Well, there
fun.
used to be a thing called Rain, like right across Indiana, but I don't know if that race is still up anymore. But it might be. But um, yeah,
That
that's
would be
cool. Oh,
sweet.
so you did the Holiday Park Trail Run. I was there too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they have been. I love Holiday Park, and each year they've been so kind to let me have a average athlete table just to kind of share and get the word out. And um, so yeah, this was the first year that I ran it, and I will be a regular runner of it every year. It was so fun, and hopefully we'll keep the average athletes
Oh,
pop ups
cool.
going because it's fun to have little things there. But yeah, love Holiday Park.
Yeah, that run is
I
a lot
didn't
of fun.
realize how extensive that trail network was.
Yeah, I was kind of
I was
surprised because
very caught off guard with those
it's
hills.
just right in the middle of Indianapolis too. So like you said, I was really when I started, I got like a mile into it, and I was like, wow, this is like a pretty legit trail. Yeah, it caught me off guard too.
Yeah,
Um,
I was far too overdressed. I was like, I'm gonna be cold and it's gonna be flat. And I was like, I'm climbing hills. There's like ropes that I've got to hold on to. That was a fun race. I'll definitely back for it next year.
yeah, those stairs at the end were no joke too.
Yeah, yeah. It did. It reminded me of the
Okay.
Dipsy. I was like, oh, here we go. A little. If I were ever trained for the Dipsy, I'd go right to Holiday Park to do it, and I would just do those stairs up and down. Yeah.
Um, so so where do you see like all right, like let's think of like a 5-year goal. Like where do you see like or team average athlete like going? Like, what do you think like the future is of like the brand?
Man, my vision board for Average Athlete is growing and growing every day. I like, in my dream world, I would love to have, honestly, like a brick and mortar space, and not necessarily like a spot or something, but just like a local space here in Indiana, where athletes can come. I don't know if it's a coffee shop or bar or something, to kind of just like come and connect and, have the Average Athlete brand, but really keep finding creative ways to tell these stories. Like, I think an Average Athlete film
Oh, cool.
festival would be freaking awesome. Like, to have, stories of just regular athletes. Um, I think in a film format, there's something really powerful about that. And I think that would be awesome. Um, but yeah, I always struggle because, I don't always know where Average Athlete is going to go. But for me, and I'm not great at social media, so apologies for, everyone on social media. But I just hope it becomes one, just a a thing to connect definitely people here in Indiana, but, also just keep spreading the word for others. Apparel has been just kind of like a fun thing to get the word spread around. Um, I don't know if we'll become like an apparel line. That would be a huge dream. I have a heck of a lot to learn about shirts and merchandise and things like that. I'm already still learning a ton of how do I do inventory and sourcing and things like that. That is, always a learning curve for my public health degree. Um, so yeah, I think I'm still kind of exploring, but like, pie in the sky, like, it would be great to like see Average Athlete like on a building one day as a place that people know. Like, if I go to that place, one, I'll be like warmly welcomed and know that like there will be good vibes there. We've always kind of thrown around the idea. I was like, it'd be really fun to have, whether it's like a bar, coffee shop, and call it the gym, the Average Athlete gym. So you can say like, I'm going to the
That's
gym.
cool.
You just go to meet up and hang out with people. um, but yeah, that, and then just like finding really creative ways, whether it's through, different forms of media and things like that, and, um, keep spreading the athlete message, because that's what I hope it does. I just hope other people like keep figuring out, and like I'm still figuring out, how do you feel confident as an athlete, and have a lot of fun with it. So we'll see. I feel like each day I'm learning something new with Average Athlete, and but my favorite thing is just being able to like have conversations with people. Like, I did the Indie Mini, had a table there for Average Athlete, and it was just so fun to have people from all over come up and share their stories of what they've got going on and how they've come to wherever they are, whether it's in their running or other athletic career. So for me, I was like, that was the coolest part, of the Indie Mini. Like, met a group from New York, the Rochester Road Runners, and like met with them on, like, ran into them on the field. I was like, this group is awesome. So just like, to me, the people that you're meeting and the stories that I'm hearing, are just really cool. So I hope we can keep doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite. Like that's like what drives me to continue having the podcast, like hearing all these like great, amazing stories. So, I love like the kind of like a recurring thing that I'm picking up on as you're just kind of going for it. And I think that just kind of shows that there's like a real like love and authenticity behind it. Um, because yeah, you're just like you're learning as you go. I guess I just love that you're just kind of going for it, and it sounds like you have like a great vision for it. That's overall just excited. It'd be exciting to see where it goes, and I look forward to hanging out in the gym one day, in the Average Athlete gym.
Yeah. One day it's gonna happen somewhere here, and everyone can come on over and get their average athlete here at the gym. But yeah, no, it's always a little bit funny when we have the tables or things, and everyone's asking about the team. I was like, it's just me, like just me working on everything and figuring it out. So if anyone ever has ideas, I certainly don't have all the answers, and I hope also people feel like the brand's a little bit theirs. Like the group going to Iowa, I'm like, you guys are team average athlete. Like you tell me what you need, what you want, like how we can help. Like so I hope that others kind of like feel like the brand is theirs too. Because I didn't really, I guess I didn't really make it for me. And yeah, like I hope others are willing to get involved and um again, if anyone has ideas, let me
Cool.
know. I'm always all ears because it's just me, myself, and I fulfilling orders and doing all the stuff right now.
Doing all the fun stuff behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yeah, the behind the scenes, literally sending it and figuring it out.
I love
What I'm
that.
doing.
Send it.
Yeah,
Well, Mary,
but maybe that should just be the
yeah.
average athlete.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
still.
know,
I guess maybe
slogan right
we'll
now.
have to,
Send it.
if we go forward with this Indiana run, we'll have to make it. We'll have to rep the shirts or something for that run. But I think we're all just too afraid to go. We're all just too
Yeah,
afraid to say this out loud yet. But we'll have to rep some average or team average athlete stuff for that journey. But
heck yeah. That'd be
well, Mary,
awesome.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a real pleasure having you on the podcast. It's been really fun following along. I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm stoked. This is a cool shirt. I can't wait to get a trucker hat too. As soon as those, yeah, I'll jump on getting one of those. And when the swimmer cap comes, I guess I'll have to get in the water. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on.
I just got new
Oh yeah.
I just put some new hat orders in Monday.
Oh cool.
So we've got runner hats coming, trucker hats. Those were the first things that I sold out of. And I could be a little bit picky about my hats, so it took me a while
Oh,
to find another
understandable.
one. Um, yeah, so hopefully coming in the next week or two they'll be done. So stay tuned. But
Cool.
thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. Sorry if I
Yeah,
just kept
yeah, absolutely.
rambling,
Oh,
but I love
I love
this.
the rambling. Like that's my favorite part of a podcast. So, and you were a great guest, so you made it easy on me. So, well,
Well,
so
thank you. And I hope we get to like we're so close. We're gonna have to meet one day.
yeah, absolutely. We'll have to make that happen. I'll keep an eye out on Indianapolis because, like I said, I've been trying to like journey out more, and so we'll put something sometime soon.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Well, thank you, Mary, for coming on. It was awesome. Like I said, for who tuned in, and I will see you all next time beyond the finish line.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.